Damn. It's your boy. We're here. California, baby. San Diego. Whole coastline. It's nice. It's my first time. There's no gold rush. You know, the whole gold, all that mind is in your mind. Everything's mental. It's lit. It's just a physical representation of how abundant we truly are. And this is mainly what we're talking about today is abundance and your ability to actually truly tap into your own abundance, and how your abundance is almost always never going to look like other people's idea of abundance. And this is why spirituality is truly individuality, and why it is so important that you focus on becoming a sovereign being, baby. What is a sovereign being, baby? I mean, you can probably already get from the context. A sovereign being basically does whatever the fuck they want, when they want. And that's what it means to be a powerful spirit, is honestly everything else is details. You do what you want when you want. So you never do something that you don't have the desire to do. And a lot of people have kind of forgotten that they have the desire to be here. And it's the weird dichotomy of, if you ask them if they would kill themselves, obviously no one wants to kill themselves. So that desire to live, something's anchoring them here. But then at the same time, they'll spend all the energy of living here complaining or wasting away or creating negative circumstances or creating actual problems or creating visual representations of things that they don't want to see, so that they have more of a valid reason to complain, when in reality, they're just in that regressive energy, basically. They're using all of their powers, their abilities for ascension to descend, to regress. And there's a time and place for that. Life is always going to be a roller coaster. But the thing is, every time you descend, it's supposed to be part of your ascension. So this may look like to you, depending on if you know who I am, that I've descended. But in reality, this is part of my ascension process. And when you actually get into being a spirit and you understand what it means to have a soul that has multiple bodies in multiple realms, and to sort of be larger than any one body, that truly allows you to bring that abundance that can't even exist in your physical reality into that physical reality. And this is what it truly means to actually bring heaven onto earth, baby. We're not talking about enslaving the people that are already there and stealing the shit that they have, and then building a nice church mansion like all those televangelists with all their helicopters and everything, claiming that God wants them to be filthy rich because the Bible says have heaven on earth. No, it's obviously about bringing your unique imagination into whatever plane of existence you are in, because that's generally why you're there. If you created a body in any realm to experience, then your purpose there is to bring your true imagination, bring your spirit into that realm, because it's going to be symbiotic. There's a lot of gifts, there's a lot of experiences that that realm can glean and enjoy based on you being your authentic self. This is why entities that want to create the abundance in their image focus so hard on taking over your imagination. And instead of telling you to create from your space, from your heart, from your spirit, from all of your essence, they give you their own creations. And these creations are all programmed by their ideas. So it's not hard. I mean, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're a creative and imaginative individual. But there's no doubt you know many people, and you can look around into the world and see on earth this global culture of consumerism, where people are much more interested in consuming other spirits' imaginations instead of producing from their own. So that's where, if you know that this is the environment, that creates a lot of responsibility in your case. If you're actually a sovereign, powerful spirit, because now you're faced with the reality of whether you're going to create art, create abundance, create physical representations of your spirit for people to consume, and ideally they'll get better, or ideally the world will basically just be molded into your image the more you produce art from your imagination. And then that's just why artists are always going to rule all segments of history, because they are what history is dictated by. People remember history by the artists, by the people who created things, and then that is what is the most memorable. So when you realize that you have this essence, you are a fraction of infinity, and the more you invest in expanding your fraction of infinity and you just become more infinite, and your awareness kind of just reflects that, then you are faced with this yang energy dilemma of how much energy, how much focus are you going to put into expressing your imagination. And that all boils down to worthiness. So this is another weapon in this realm that works to stop people from creating. Most people feel like they're not worthy to be heard. So these entities, when we're talking about restricting sovereignty, we're basically talking about restricting freedom and restricting communication, the freedom to communicate. They have to make you do that within yourself. So to make people live in a mental prison, it's about getting these spirits in a mental state of feeling like they're not worthy of being heard, aka Jesus is the only hero, he's the only superhero, or Krishna, or whatever other idols that people may latch onto are the only superheroes, and my imagination falls short of all of them, because that's reality. And that in and of itself is a trap that you had to agree to set yourself in. But I feel for you if you are really in this trap, because a lot of the time, as we can see with the Crusades and the genocide of the indigenous peoples throughout North and South America and Australia and Africa and essentially everywhere, that there is a lot of yang energy from these spirits going into making their imagination real. And their yang energy is all about just murder, destruction, rape, enslavement, lying, gaslighting, doing everything with awareness that they can to manipulate just everything, like every single thing that they can. It's not a personal thing. It's just they have an imagination and they have this awareness, and them as sovereign beings feel like they have the right to create racism and create these governments and create a new world order that is meant to enslave you. Because if you're actually a strong spirit, you won't be enslaved. I'm just telling you how these strong spirits view it. If you're not a strong spirit, you might not get it. But this is where nothing's really personal, because life is always a reflection of you. So that's where it gets into, do you feel like you're worthy to be yourself? So there's a lot of deprogramming that comes into actually becoming a sovereign being, because you have to actually feel like you are worthy of expressing your infinite abundance in the reality that you're in. So if you have a body and a reality that's incredibly restrictive, I don't blame you for then reacting by having a restricted mind that thinks it's keeping you safe, because a lot of the time it is. You know, we can't deny this. This is balance in everything. So this is where we have to respect our limits, because we do see racism is real. Black people can't do things that white people can do socially without way more negative repercussions than white people would even imagine. So then that's where there's not much relatability, and that's the big challenge in this corporation, is entities really just looking past the ego. This shit is so small, guys. Like, realizing that you are just nothing as a spirit, and then everything is just details that you have created from there to express your individuality, really lets you be yourself. So to be yourself, to truly be sovereign, it's all about the subconscious mind. Hop off this video, whatever, just like Google the subconscious mind. If I can recommend a book that helped me get in touch with my subconscious mind, his name's Irisel. He was pivotal in my journey from, that was 5th grade, and then realizing just a lot all the way up from 5th grade up to now, and seeing through fasting how scientifically the subconscious mind is really the scientific physical representation of your spirit's connection to you, and your conscious mind is the physical representation of your ego's connection to you. and how you exist in this balance. We're consciously operating, aka the ego, but it's always informed by the subconscious, aka the spirit. So this is always going to correlate. And that's just where getting into your subconscious mind, getting into asking those questions, asking yourself how you can level up, asking your subconscious mind what its name is. If you can like build a relationship with yourself, it'll be way easier to actually start that self-love process that helps you break through feelings of unworthiness or, dissatisfaction or any other guilt, shame, hatred, any other low vibrations that may be keeping you too dense from being in your spirit. Get into your subconscious mind, ask your spirit, how can you get rid of those? Because everything's so individual. I can relate to you about what has helped me, but I can't tell you what you need because that's not my place. This is why freedom and then communication is abundance in everything. I can't force you to do shit. I don't know you. I don't even know if you're a spirit watching this video. You could be an NPC. You could be a body that is just a shell owned by some other spirit. So the people, the spirits that are meant to take inspiration from what I'm talking about, from me communicating from my space of freedom, you have the freedom to take my communication and then increase your own freedom. And then from there, other people will see you increasing your own freedom if you communicate about that as well. But even you just expressing it is communication because everything's communicating. It all, again, blends together. So as far as being a sovereign being, I could go into it and be way longer, but we're just gonna cut it at the subconscious mind because honestly, everything's right there. As far as just doing research into the subconscious mind and what the subconscious mind is for you and how it connects to your spirit and how building a relationship with it will really allow you to realize that everything is infinite and you are everything and you get to express yourself however you want to. And you just need to figure out who you truly are and what makes you happy and what gifts you have to give. Then it's lit. Do that. All in the subconscious mind. I'm going to enjoy this ocean. And you can enjoy it for 10 seconds. We'll just chill here. A lot of people aren't at the ocean. I'll share a book. What's the book? Oh, snap. My man Gavin over here totally just reminded me that I didn't even tell you the book. That would have been so sly if I really just dropped all of that and said this book helped me and then told you just look into the subconscious mind and did not tell you about the book. That was the whole reason I brought the book up. Anyway, we're just going to look at the beach. And this ocean is really nice. I'm totally kidding. The book is The Genie Within. That book is fire. It is put so simply in terms of the conscious mind and subconscious mind, because everything is binary, everything's going to be polarized. And as far as everything being black and white, everything exists in the extremes of black and white. So everything's a gradient. But once you understand quote unquote black and white, and you don't feel the need to resolve either of these ideas in a worldview or create a magic square for yourself, that is how you will experience the actual infinite abundance. Live in paradox, baby.